AB30. So we are done Act 1. Well, day 2 is done Act 1. Day 1 we'll do Act 1 tomorrow. So that'll be January 14th, just so we're keeping track of our dates here. But I wanted to post the summary notes for Act 1 as I've made some changes. So if you are viewing the other videos, which I hope you are, because I do have different insights and explanations for those various scenes in the play, so I do recommend you watch those, especially in regards to the soliloquies and some of the foreshadowing that takes place, that kind of thing. So please take the time to look at that. How do you like my background? Hamlet. Okay. So I'm going to go to, I believe it's this one, or not. Go here. There we go. All right. So obviously you can get this information in class, but those that have seen this already, if you missed anything, please copy that information down. So Hamlet, a long time ago in a castle in Denmark. Cue the Star Wars music. And let's go to episode 1, The Ghost Within. Now Shakespeare's plays do not have titles, just so you know that. I came up with those titles. And so we have a ghost which looks like the late King of Denmark has appeared to sentries. Sentries are guards. So they're guards protecting Elsinore Castle, and they brought in Horatio to witness this ghost because, for one thing, sentries are a little bit lower on the class scale. Okay, so if they went to go tell somebody that they saw a ghost, they probably think they're nuts. So they need somebody who is a little higher up on the class system, and they find Horatio, who's a friend of Hamlet. And so if he sees what they're seeing, then they haven't lost their mind. Okay, so he comes and sees a ghost, and it looks like King Hamlet. It's, woo, something's not right here. Okay, so then the cock crows, which is the sign of mourning, and I did add in the line, "This bodes some strange eruption to our state." So this is not a normal thing. So seeing a ghost wander the lands of Denmark is a strange eruption. Okay, so it's not normal, and so this doesn't bode well for our state if there's a ghost running around in every single night, well, scaring people or whatever the case, or not telling us what its purpose is, that kind of thing. So we have a foreshadow, and that's going to lead us to Act 1, Scene 4, line 90. So keep that in mind as we get closer to Scene 4. And as I stated, the cock crowing is a sign of mourning, and that sends all the spirits back to purgatory, or where they came from. So a lot of there was a belief that the night brought out the spirits, and they would roam the land freely. And especially if there were spirits that were roaming land, they had a reason for roaming the land, and we'll find out what that reason is shortly. We have King Claudius, brother to the previous king, gives Laertes permission to go back to France to finish his schooling. Laertes will be in the play for just one more scene, and then he's gone till Act 4. So if you're thinking about doing Laertes for your Tombstone project, please keep that in mind, that we only see him at this point and again later in Act 4. We learn that Hamlet's father has been dead for only 2 months. 2 months, and his mother has remarried to his uncle. Okay, that's not normal. So he's very angry, disgusted with her weakness, and to remarry, especially to his uncle, King Hamlet's brother. And so we have our first soliloquy, lines 129 to 158. So that's different from my previous videos on Act 1, Scene 1, or Scene 2, sorry. Horatio informs Hamlet of the ghost that he saw with the two sentries, Marcellus and Bernardo, and so they go to see this apparition. So that's lines 253 to 256, and that's another reference to Act 1, Scene 4, line 90. So please pay attention to that, and we have a bit of foreshadowing right there. So in Scene 3, we have Polonius' house. Larry's just having a little chat with his sister before he takes off, and he's giving Ophelia some advice to stay away from Hamlet. And Ophelia's like, yo, bro, you're sounding like our father, so don't sound like my father, or our father. Just be my brother, and trust that I will make the right decision and take the right path, and so on and so forth. Don't describe this thorny path that to kind of scare me and stuff like that. So Larry says okay, and then he realizes he's talked too long, so because his father's coming. So I said, okay. So the father comes and he says quite a few nice things, a bit of advice. To thy own self be true. Don't be a borrower. Don't lend money. And don't start a fight, but finish one if there is one, or if you do get involved in something like that. It's a lot of do's and don'ts. And so then Larry leaves, and then all of a sudden it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Polonius goes, okay, what's going on with Hamlet? And so I want to know everything. And you report back to me every contact that you have with Hamlet. And so she talks about having a relationship that's almost like a marriage, okay? And that she's in love. And Polonius goes, pooh, you're not in love. You don't know what love is. You're just a child, okay? And so that really, like Ophelia's an adult, okay? And so she should know what love is, and if she's found that true love, then great, good for her. But her father should not be treating her in this fashion. But because she's still under the control of her father, and she has to do what her father says. She agrees to keep him informed of what's going on with Hamlet. Okay, so in Scene 4, finally we get to where this all these other previous quotes we mentioned is leading up to. There's something wrong in the state in Denmark. Hamlet does see the ghost, and so it does look like his dead father. And so then in Scene 5, Hamlet goes off with the ghost, and the ghost states that he's the spirit of Hamlet's father, and then he's murdered by the present king. And so he can't go into great detail with how he was murdered, so he's kind of cryptic, and he has to use a bunch of metaphors, figurative language, and things like that to describe this how he was murdered. And so he uses reference to serpent to describe the perpetrator, and the poison and stuff like that. And then Hamlet goes, "Is it my uncle Claudius?" Ding, 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 ding. Okay, you have won a prize. I could tell you the whole story in the actual real version of it. So this is version 2, and then we get the full story that King Hamlet was sleeping in his orchard, like he normally does, and Claudius comes in and pours poison in his ear, and it kills him instantly, painfully, but instantly, and then takes his crown and his wife. So Hamlet has to set things right, avenge his father's death, and but leave his mother to Judgment Day. So don't go and punish your mother. We already know she sinned, but let God do that. On Judgment Day, you just focus on avenging my murder, so my soul can be, or my spirit can be at rest. So he agrees to do that. So whether he actually does that, we'll see. So we have another soliloquy on lines 93 to 115, or 113, sorry, and we do have another foreshadowing as well. Okay, so that's where we left off. We are done Act 1. So tomorrow, for day 1, students will listen to the play and get this information again. So if you are watching this right now, you'll be ahead of the game, but we'll listen to it. And then we'll be watching Act 1, and we'll be viewing the Kenneth Branagh version. Okay? So, that's where we're at right now. Don't forget, Yoda quotes and abbreviations due tomorrow for day 1 and Friday for day 2. Okay? And stay on top of your research project too, because that's coming up January 29th for day 1 and February 1st for day 2. If you have any questions about that, please watch my previous videos and check out the other videos from the previous quints and terms regarding Hamlet. Okay? Until later, take care, be safe.